Hello, everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you a very interesting agentic SEO content. It actually does SEO planning, creates and finds content gaps, writes SEO content, cites it, interlinks it with your rest of your content, and even find backlink opportunity. So sounds like a mouthful, right? But let's see, how what is happening really, right? So I'll keep on explaining, but in the meantime, let me actually run this. So when we run on test workflow, this is n8n, by the way, we have to select what you want to do first. Generate blog with citation and internal link. Now we start the workflow. Let's see. So in this example, I have selected a startup called 𝐀𝐥𝐥𝐫𝐿, which is into AI transcription. Let me put this as a topic. We can actually modify the topic also. And let's create, let's say, 4 example blogs. You can actually have any number of blogs. We typically recommend something like 4 or 5 to not more than 15, 20 at one shot. But for the sake of this demo, let's try to create and produce 4 blogs. So yeah, so I'll just close it while it's running, right? So as you can see, the first step which is happening is that the workflow is figuring out the content gaps. In order to do that, it does a lot of basically basic web research, right? It figures out who your competition is, what kind of content have they written, what you have not covered, and which has a probability to rank high. What is the content gaps? What is typically trending or popular in your industry, etc. Right? So based on that, it actually creates a content plan on what exactly you should write about. Right? So it'll actually take some time, while all this is happening. So let's see. So now it has moved to it has actually figured out what kind of content gaps it has found. Let's click this node and see. Right. So it has actually found out. You can see this output, right? How AI is transforming legal transcript review and so on and so forth. These are the topics which the workflow has deemed to be important enough to be covered, because they have found this topic to be something people are interested in, people are searching for, people are looking for, but has been slightly less covered by your competition. So that's a great opportunity, right? Now let's proceed. Now once we have figured out the content gaps, the second step is to create content briefs. Basically, you have to send to the AI what exactly you have to write about. What type of blog is it, right? Is it like a pillar content blog? Is it a listicle? Is it a descriptive one, educational one, informative one, right? So so on and so forth. So in this step, this kind of decision making is happening. Yeah. So the brief must have been generated. Let's check. Yeah. So the AI is basically figured out. Yeah. So the content brief generation has happened. The workflow has now moved to writing SEO for lots of types of blog. So remember in the last step, I told you that there is another decision making which is happening, is to select what type of blog it is, right? So first thing is that depending on the decision layer in the last step, it actually creates such a blog. While doing so, it actually also does a lot of web search to figure out the latest details, facts, citation, etc. For that, we actually use something called 𝐀𝐥𝐥𝐫, right? So 𝐀𝐥𝐴 is like a web search API, but it is semantically very rich. It is similar to a SERP API, but with added AI superpowers. So this also we are, this is something we leverage and strongly recommend as kind of a, like a replacement of traditional SERP, right? Because this is kind of better suited for a lot of AI workflows, right? So at this step, now it has moved to, it has actually created these 4 SEO optimized blogs with citation, which I'll show in a second. But it is now also creating a suitable cover image. So in order to create the cover image, we first create a prompt which should be passed to DALL-E, which is what we use to generate cover image. We also save these images in Cloudinary, and then we actually attach to the blog, right? So Cloudinary is a tool or a API to host these the generated images, right? So this is the step which is taken care of in this particular workflow, right? So the sauce or the meat here is, how do you ensure to have really high quality basically images generated based on what kind of things the blog has, basically what is written in the blog. So for example, let's say the blog is about AI transcription legal services. So it would ideally create a lawyer using these transcription tools and so on, right? And now it's a very interesting last step, which is to do interlinking. Now, I mean, the whole SEO game is not just about writing content. It is about figuring out what to write about, which we covered in finding out the content gaps step, then actually creating the content. But then you have to basically make sure that you have actually properly cited to an external to let's say an external and relevant source, but also you have cited properly internally. So let's say you have a blog written about how transcription is useful in legal industry. But let's say you have another blog that new tools in the legal industry. Maybe it's a good idea to interlink each other at an appropriate phrase, right? Now, if you want to do it manually, it's a very tedious process, and it's a thing which keeps on changing, right? Like the moment you add another blog or another piece of content, you have to again reshuffle everything, right? So it's a very recurring and a very manual, laborious work. So this is what is also automated. The moment the blog is generated, we check the site map of your, basically the whole website. We see what are the relevant interlinking opportunities, and then we actually link those particular, rest of these pages at an appropriate phrase. All of this will be, visible in a second. Click here and see the actual blog. See here the 4 blogs. Let me open one of them. So this is all HTML content, right? So maybe it's slightly unintelligible. Let me open it in HTML editor. Paste it here. Click run. Here you go, right? Future of legal work. How AI-powered junior associates are transforming transcript review. It's a great blog, right? Lots of citations have been done, internal linking has been done, and so on. Yeah. So now coming back to this. So as I told you, right, this is phase 1. Like the whole blog. When we were running this, we actually ended up selecting as you can see, there's a switch here, right? We ended up selecting the content generation route. But if I just kind of clear it and run it again, we can actually do the same thing by selecting. So now the blog has been generated. We want to figure out the backlink opportunity for these blogs, right? So which is not very trivial task, right? You have to figure out the top, basically high quality links, which should not be your competition, right? Because the probability of actually getting, and even the whole concept of getting a backlink from competition would be moot, right? So it is not going to do a backlink, because then you have obviously to reach out, but it is going to show you exact URLs where a great backlink opportunity exists, right? So let me just run it. So in this step, it is basically excluding a lot of competition. So it has figured out that these are 5 or 6 competition of 𝐚𝐬𝐫, and is going to exclude it, so that we don't unnecessarily waste our time in sort of going to them. And this is a pretty fast workflow. It has quickly moved to the last step. Now it is pushing to Airtable. So voila, done. If we go here in the backlink opportunity section, we can see that there are so many opportunities it has figured out, right? It has figured out almost 75 opportunities, which can be a great place, which might actually, because they might have covered content relevant to 𝐚𝐬𝐵.com, in this case. And if you end up reaching out to them, you can end up getting high quality backlink. We are obviously extending this feature so that even this last part can be either automated or semi-automated, right? So how do you like it? Please comment and let me know if you are interested in such things. Thanks a lot.